Hello, partners, customers, and all fans of technology trends. It's your old pal and host of the Akamai Channel Champions Podcast, Nick Watkins. Now, if you can't tell by the energy in the studio today, we are covering what is arguably the biggest news to hit our security ecosystem all year. Akamai has officially closed our acquisition of LayerX, a pioneer in browser-based AI usage control and secure enterprise browser extension technology. Now, the channel buzz for this acquisition has been insane. It's like when your couple friends have their first baby and suddenly they forget that any other topic exists. World Cup? Gone. Movies? Forgotten. It's all baby, all the time. Now, I know this acquisition is gold because I've already got partners sliding into my DMs asking, when can I sell it? How do I pitch it? Why aren't I closing a deal right now? Don't worry, baby birds, I will feed you. Now, to give us the inside scoop, we've got the perfect guest, the Chief Revenue Officer of LayerX. Now, before I introduce our guest, I have to be honest, I live in mortal fear of looking stupid on my own podcast, so I like to do my homework on my guest. Now get this, he is a former founder and CEO of cyber counterintelligence and managed security firm SpearTip, a U.S. Army counterintelligence special agent. Look, I'm not going to read his whole LinkedIn bio to you guys, but he's been in cybersecurity longer than Akamai has been in business, and that type of pedigree tells me we have got the right guy for this interview. So please join me in welcoming Jarrett Kolthoff, the Chief Revenue Officer of LayerX. Jarrett, welcome to the Channel Champions Podcast, and a massive congratulations on the acquisition.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick. It's been a journey over the past year and a half since I joined LayerX, but it's absolutely fabulous. And in the excitement that we have internally, not only LayerX, but how we've been embraced inside of Akamai is just something I've never really experienced before. So it's
right.
The excitement that we're showing here in the show isn't made up.
No.
We're seeing that on a daily basis now inside of Akamai. So we're really excited.
Oh, I love it. I'm so excited to talk, but let's take it a step at a time. So why don't we start with what I think our partners would care about most, which is the business motion, the revenue opportunity. How do they make money with this? And so the headline message coming out of leadership is very loud and clear on this. LayerX is transitioning into Akamai Workforce Protector, and this expansion is pinned directly to the channel. Yes. Can you break down what Akamai's channel-only vision is for Workforce Protector, what it looks like for our ecosystem, and how does this instantly boost profitability for our partners?
Sure. I mean, not so much different from what LayerX approach has been to the market before. It's channel only, channel first. As organizations grow, they have a decision. Do they want to go direct to the market and do it all on their own? That is a path. It's not the right path. Having the partnerships with partners and VARs, DISTs, GSIs, and the like. The key to success is how do you enable and work with corporations and clients, bringing them technology or services. How do you do that? And how do you successful at it? Is leveraging know, like, and trust. The client must know you, they must like you, they must trust you. As a direct sales force, there's zero chance that's going to happen globally or regionally. It's not going to happen. So you have to enable and embrace the channel. The channel are viewed as trusted advisors in so many organizations, small to global enterprises. So we wholeheartedly have always been channel first. Same thing with Akamai. So that alignment for us, LayerX and Akamai, is perfectly aligned. And there's nothing better than going into an organization, a global enterprise or a mid-market or mid-tier enterprise with a strong partner.
Right.
The sales cycle is faster, the camaraderie is there, the success rate is higher, and that sales cycle is much shorter with that partnership.
I mean, absolutely. I love it because the partners give us the scale. The partners will give us the relationships that, frankly, we may not have on our own. And I mean, also, we don't sell the entire cybersecurity stack across all disciplines of cybersecurity. They're going to have that total package, and so. A man after my own heart. That's all I'm saying. I know all of this is music to our audience's ears. Obviously, protecting your profitability from day one is very important. So just wanted to open the show with that. Start us off on a high note and keep it going. So
there you go.
Now, sales cycles can often get bogged down by legal paperwork, vendor onboarding, contract restructuring. For the current Akamai partner community listening right now who want to start pitching Workforce Protector immediately, what's the barrier to entry? Do they need to wait on a contract amendment? Do they need to get signed on? Tell me a little bit about that.
Actually, it's fast-tracked. If the partner ecosystem has relationship with an end client and there's Akamai paperwork already in place and T's and C's are done, NDAs are signed, it's just a matter of looking and seeing what projects are currently in flight, or if there is an initiative, say, so one of the biggest, and this might be interesting to the audience, one of the biggest areas that we're seeing response is AI usage control, AI
Hmm.
governance, and then also malicious extensions. So my
Yeah.
previous world of running IR for decades, the market is begging for a solution to be able to look and monitor for malicious extensions. The great thing about
Right.
the Workforce Protector now with Akamai is we have relationships with both Google and Microsoft. They rely upon Akamai to do the analysis on all the extensions inside of an enterprise. And we give you a risk score mapped to MITRE framework so that you can take all those IOCs from the MITRE framework and the data we're
Right.
giving you and go across your enterprise. So that's one great area to start with, a land and expand opportunity for the community. And then the other is asking the simple question. We know most enterprises are looking for AI governance, leveraging AI as a force multiplier for organizations, for revenue generation, for whatever means of that corporation, that vertical. That's great. Here's your AI initiative. Okay,
Right.
now that goes to the GC and the CISO. GC, privacy officer. We need a governance entity, community, or a group to give us. Okay, how are we going to enable this? Okay, now this is how you're enabled. Now, how do we apply controls? That's the technical controls where Akamai Workforce Protector can help organizations to enable and leverage AI usage inside the organization, and hence that's the partnership between Akamai, the partners, helping those corporations enable AI.
I
Simple.
love it. Yeah, it's super simple, but that's awesome. And like, I have to call it like, no additional paperwork might be my audience's second favorite phrase after closed one. So
Yeah.
this is the, if you are an existing Akamai partner, you can be selling this today. So partners, you can truly start building pipeline this afternoon. This is absolutely phenomenal. So
We have several opportunities that we're working right now
yeah,
that were LayerX, now Akamai. We were in flight with T's and C's and DPAs and all these other different agreements.
yeah,
All of that was basically put on hold. We can now embrace Akamai's paper, and now we're fast tracking into POVs.
yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
I love it. All right, let's pivot a little bit and talk about the customer's pain point. The phrase that really piqued my interest as I was learning about LayerX is that securing the last mile phrase. So,
Yeah.
for our, account executives on the sales side and our deep engineering technical minds listening, can you unpack what last mile enforcement problem actually means and why traditional web perimeters like SSE, endpoint, EDR solutions, why they leave a CISO blind to browser risks?
Great question. I've been doing this for a while. A lot of the gray hairs. It looks like it's blonde, but there's gray mixed in all of
I'm
that.
with you there. I'm with you.
Doing the best way to explain it for me is you have your traditional network architectural design, application security, from layer 3 or 4 up to 7. Helping organizations control and protect the perimeter. Of all the many decades I've run IR incident response, we would always respond. We would come into organizations, they had best of breed, right? Best of class. And as an previous expert witness doing IR investigations, IR testimony, the question would always be, can you validate and testify that data was not exfiltrated? Was it accessed?
Right.
Was it exfilled? How was it done? What's the timelines? The current architectural design that most enterprises leverage, which is, it's what they have today. There is a complete blind spot what happens inside the browser. And having the ability to actually have vision. You first have to have vision, then you have to have control. Where we're at today is having the ability to protect that last mile. Everybody uses that phrase, but the last mile defined as what's happening between user and keyboard. So
Right.
a firewall deals with what's on wire, SSE
Mhm.
on wire. You have some EDR tools, but that's not looking at what user is doing between the keyboard and the interface. And so as the user is leveraging a browser or native application inside the desktop or laptop, a lot of that activity is not being monitored. And if it's not being monitored, it can't be seen. There's no controls that can be leveraged against it. So SSE devices can't see a copy and paste between a user of a browser within a corporate entity, authentication, over and copy and paste that to a personal, whether it's Gmail or whatever it may be. So having control and vision of what user is doing back and forth between browsers, copy and paste, uploading, inadvertently, purposely or not purposely, putting MPI, PHI data, or secure code, AWS keys inside of a browser and posting it. Many a times that can't be seen by SSE devices on wire because it's encrypted. Can't always recompile all sessions. So that old architecture just simply isn't set up to protect against the threats of today, where people are looking to protect that last mile inside of memory, inside a browser. So as the IR responder, we can never see what was inside a browser, what was actually occurring. You could do memory analysis, you could do dead disk analysis, fine. But getting true analytical data from the browser, what was exfilled and what was actually occurring on last mile defined in that browser, LayerX truly provides that ability. It's that extension. You mentioned the extension piece of LayerX, now Akamai Workforce Protector. Super easy to deploy. The deployment occurs during the POV, so it gives a bit of a vision of how it's actually done. During the proof of concept, proof of value, we actually basically do the deployment, and the deployment's completed during the POV. And so the scalability and the ease of use, ease of deployment is super easy. From there, we deploy as an extension because we're inside the document object model in the DOM. It's all clear text, and we see everything in clear text. So the processing power, it's not like old school proxy firewalls where it's hit into sessions, recompile another session, or initiate another session. It's super easy to deploy. During the proof of concept, proof of value, we basically do the deployment during that time frame. And so the organization and the partner can see immediate value for LayerX, now Akamai, a Workforce Protector. And because we have that ability to deploy so quickly, we can protect that last mile because we see in that document object model. We see the DOM, we see everything in clear text. So the users, we can report everything that's happening. So seeing that last mile truly gives value immediately for the corporation, and they actually take control. They see what the users are doing. They can stop copy and paste of PII or secret information inside the browser. And so we have vision into it. Now we have vision. Now we can take control via the policy engine.
I love that. I mean, it's funny. So podcasting is really just my side gig. I'm a marketer by trade, and I remember the first time when ChatGPT was in its infancy, and seeing, a fellow marketer, not at Akamai, being clear on that, writing something, and they needed to emulate a certain tone for partners, and I saw them pasting in the big whale opportunities, the top partners, some of the big deal regs from that quarter, and I was just like, where is that going? That's not it's not a black box. It's not just sitting there, right? So, it's amazing to now have this capability within Akamai's suite. So I do want to double click for just a moment on how we really do solve this. And so when technical teams hear about, secure enterprise browsers, I know their mind immediately goes to, operational nightmare. I have to force users to switch away from their favorite browsers. And managing or the other concern is, managing massive virtual desktops. So architecturally, how does Akamai Workforce Protector dodge that landmine? And how does a lightweight browser extension deliver runtime, risk adaptive actions like warnings or text redaction right at the active browser edge without trashing the employee productivity workflow?
Great question. So that's at our last segment. We just talked about how LayerX is deployed, how Akamai Workforce Protector is deployed as an extension. Because we sit in the DOM, the document object model, we see everything in clear text. So the ability for LayerX to come in and work inside the browser, any browser. So we can deploy across any browser, across the enterprise. Often browser use can be a bit of a religion with executives in most organizations.
Yes.
And so telling them that, hey, you shall not use your favorite browser, your favorite extensions again, that's a bad path, right? No one wins from that. So the way we view it, and this is the architecture that was designed, years ago from the founders, we've been able to leverage that and truly be successful inside the market. Why? As you look to engage and advise CISOs, CIOs, there's a limited amount of political capital that a CISO chooses to utilize. Far be it from most CISOs, outside of a few, most CISOs, do they want to go to the enterprise to tell them, we're going to use a proprietary browser that I'm going to push upon the entire enterprise, and you can no longer use your favorite browser, your favorite extension, or your favorite user experience inside the browser. You must use this new proprietary browser. That's been very successful for us to penetrate the market. Our competitors that have gone down that path, yes, they are successful in point solutions, point use cases, which are remote contractors, Maybe it's we have one scenario of a large healthcare organization that the urinalysis corporation contracting group requires a proprietary browser to come back and forth and gain access. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
We now have an answer. Now that the Workforce Protector inside of Akamai, we have the ability. You mentioned, we talked earlier about EAA and ZTNA capabilities. Well, now we have LayerX combined with EAA. Now everybody that sold EAA or SIA inside of Akamai technology stack to other organizations throughout the globe, you can now go back to them and say, not only have you had a great experience at EAA, we can now overlay that with LayerX, and now you have a solution that can really truly give you a full enterprise solution to protect not only the browser, the user to keyboard, but also remote workforce, all combined into one application, one technology stack. So that's one of the many beautiful aspects of the partnership between Akamai and LayerX.
I mean, it's amazing too. Like I know my partner audience. I mean, we're always looking for the low hanging fruit. We always want to know what the easy button is, and I feel like this is brilliant because it basically turns a massive security hurdle into a frictionless conversation.
It is.
And so, we spoke a little bit about EAA, kind of talking about creating a complete end-to-end zero trust framework for the client. Maybe we talk, since I see that it's like a huge use case. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the upcoming enablement sessions, which we'll mention later on the show. But let's talk a little bit about where some of the other better together stories are within the portfolio as well. And so, look, I usually hate the really marketing buzzword synergy, but there really is no better word to describe it. So, when we start thinking about something like a cornerstone of our portfolio, which is microsegmentation, clients are using our Akamai Guardicore segmentation. What is the integration hook? How do browser level data protections protect the broader segmented network from rogue or unintended AI system activity?
We're looking at that now. Both at a strategic and tactical level on the integration between microsegmentation, how for organizations that have embraced that, because it's not every company can enable it. Yes, that's a panacea. That's where most organizations want and need to be. They may not be ready for it, but those that are. One of the areas that I think that we think that there's a great synergy is the fact, once again, because we sit in every system at the browser and we can enforce the use of LayerX in every browser. And there's a technical aspect of putting flags inside of a header on outbound traffic to be able to ensure that any HTTPS traffic outbound is leveraging a browser with LayerX extension. So that's part of the tech stack. And so because of that, we can give you full coverage. All right, great. You have vision. You have full vision. Awesome. Now control. Because we see not only what happens in the browser, but also what apps are being ran inside the desktop, to include what systems are initiating outbound traffic via HTTPS traffic or any type of other type traffic going outbound from the system. We can start looking at, okay, what are the methodologies of the threat actors? By what means are they leveraging IOCs, not known bad and unknown bad? Let's say that there's a listing of applications that have the ability to initiate network traffic, and this particular system, just a small example, and we identify that this particular executable being used by a threat actor to exfil data. So microsegmentation is great. Now we're down to this one box. Now, what parameters can we put with our policy to give us vision into an IOC of outbound from a particular application? We can see that within LayerX. Now, was that why LayerX was created? No. But can you look at the data and the vision, we often don't talk about it. We don't, because we think about, okay, this is why LayerX was created. This is all great things we do. Yeah, usage control, et cetera. But look at all the other data that we get from being on every system. Then we can start overlaying upon strategies of microsegmentation and filtering on outbound threat actor traffic, and then start being able to take that systems of that data into SIMs, apply that into a SOAR, then do threat hunting inside of enterprises. So all of this data into one system, giving all that data and that information, that threat actor information, organizations can truly take action now.
I almost feel like it's like a Swiss Army knife, like a multi-tool that you have in your pocket, where it's like a lot of use cases you're going to see are going to be like the knife. You're probably going to use that the most. There's a pair of scissors, there's a magnifying glass, there's some other things it can do, which are amazing. But like that's what I like about this solution in particular. It's just because I feel like it's multifaceted and there's so many different use cases that a partner can think through and solve a customer challenge, which is
We're doing
better for everyone.
whiteboarding sessions in large enterprises. And And we have the large, we have the GSIs or the strong partners, and we're sort of whiteboarding the architectural design and the platform and how we operate. Often it simply comes down to this simple statement. As we look at that's most senior technical architects, we basically say, okay, think about conceptually. If we have the ability in clear text to see everything that a user is doing inside the browser, everything, tell me what we cannot do. And then we start looking at, I can see how we can apply here, this other use case over here. And sometimes we get into large enterprise like, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you can do that because we do this, this, and this, and this. And they find a different use case that I had no idea that's appropriate. But in their instance, it's a perfect fit.
You are really like scratching my like startup itch right now, because I came from an acquisition to Akamai as well. And so it's just like, it's hearing that like the possibilities are endless. Like it
100%.
Legitimately fires me up. And so won't spoil any surprises for our guests. The more things probably coming in the future, but there's some really good stuff coming. All right, so we talked a little bit about segmentation. I mean, it forms a cohesive shield for the core installation all the way out to the employee's fingertips. So strategy-wise, when partners are looking at a net new logo acquisition versus an upsell cross-sell, the play is clear. Lead with AI usage control to win the logo and attach it to every single EAA, Guardicore, and other opportunities to instantly expand contract account value. It's a win-win, right?
Yep.
Now, Jarrett, we've covered some serious architectural ground today, but before I let you run, I always like to humanize the guests a little bit with a fun closing question, just to, pull back that corporate curtain a little bit. And so, outside of your mission to completely revolutionize enterprise browser security and dominate the AI visibility market, what is a secret passion, hobby, or quirky obsession of yours that our channel ecosystem wouldn't find on your LinkedIn profile?
I don't know if there's any. I'm sure at least my vision is not necessarily quirky, but I have many various interests. Family obviously is first and foremost for me, and then finding opportunities that I can experience with each one of our kids in a way that's unique to them. So anywhere from hunting to fishing to running, playing soccer, scuba diving, fishing, boating, anything to do outside with one of my kids or my wife. That's really what I focus on, and just finding time to just spend with them as much as I can.
I love that answer, man. I'm really into movies, and I remember the first time I showed my 9-year-old daughter the movie Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock, which I probably shouldn't have done. I know in hindsight, but she loves scary, and so like getting to show her my favorite scary movies and see her react to it in live, like seeing her face during the shower scene, probably reminded me I should maybe scale it back a little, but like that, those life experiences, man, the things that fire you up and jazz you up, and giving that to your kids and seeing if that same interest resides in them. I mean, there's nothing better in life, right?
Exactly. That's right.
Oh, yeah. All right. Next time we sync up at an Akamai partner event, we are definitely going to be talking a little bit more about that. Now, before we wrap up, let's tell the channel what we've got in store for them. So first, the Akamai Workforce Protector Partner Sales Kit is live today on the Akamai Partner Portal. This is where you're going to get those prospecting tools, the use cases that Jarrett mentioned, buyer persona, objection handling guides. This is everything you need to sharpen your skill set and hit the ground running. Second, we've got a dedicated partner enablement session in August for different regions, and so stay tuned to the Akamai Partner Portal to register your spot. This chat was just a taste, so you'll want to join these sessions to get the full story. Now, speaking of enablement, we also have new role-based partner enablement tracks on Learn Akamai coming in August and September. And last but not least, we've got a little event on the horizon called Black Hat. So if you are braving the Las Vegas heat in August, I don't know why we do that to ourselves, make sure to drop by the Akamai booth to learn and chat with our team to see how you can start making money with Akamai Workforce Protector. And with that, Jarrett, thank you so much for joining us and laying down the law on this massive opportunity. You've been a tremendous guest.
Nick, listen, I really appreciate it and look forward to work with all the partners and hopefully see you in Black Hat.
Love it. All right. And to our partners, we've got a massive opportunity in front of us with Workforce Protector, so let's go win some deals. Until next time, this has been Nick Watkins and the Akamai Channel Champions Podcast.